I either wanted to be white or I wanted to be the same complexion as my mother, and she's light skinned. And so I had that issue kind of when I was young, but I didn't feel like it was not anything out of the norm. I kind of felt like that was just kind of how it was. Just inherently knowing or believing that darker skin was somehow ugly started pretty early.
I was more probably of an oddity in high school. I didn't really fit. I wasn't invited to the parties, which I wasn't invited to hang out. I wasn't invited for sleepovers. I wasn't invited for any of those things.
I felt the need to apologize for being black, for being a black woman, as I wanted to fit in. And I have been in like a Christian school like my whole entire life through elementary and middle school and high school. And the easiest way that I understood to fit in was to apologize. That was the easiest way for me to be accepted.
So at 18, I realized there's something wrong with my thinking and there's something wrong with the world. Why do I think having lighter skin's better? Why am I so obsessed with not tanning? Why am I so obsessed with if someone says, oh, you got darker, or it like pains you to hear it. It's almost like them saying you got uglier in a way.
Yeah, I always thought that the instances of racism, they were just, you know, isolated incidents and they weren't a problem as a whole, but they are a problem as a whole.
I remember days right here in Columbus, Indiana, where one of my very best friends at that time, a white girl, her parents wanted to take me with them. I don't know if it was the Moose Lodge or the Elks Lodge or whatever it was. And they were just going to take me with them to go eat. And I remember them being stopped at the door. I remember them saying, let's go someplace else. Never found out until later that's because I had a black girl, a colored girl with them.
Mm-hmm. Anytime me and my family go into a restaurant that's predominantly white, and in a place where we know it's a predominantly white place, city or whatever, we get stares. Well, I get angry, but I don't let them see it. Don't let them see sweat. I don't let them see I'm angry. Because that's what they want. They're not staring at me in a way where they're like hiding it. They want me to see. I don't like you. I don't like their skin or whatever it is, and I let that be their issue. Inside, I'm angry, but I don't let them see that.
I even remember like when I was younger, there was this girl and she was saying, oh, my sister's dating a black guy and he's not a good black like you, he's a bad black. It's not like there weren't any adults around ever, but it's just kind of sad to me that no one would ever say, hey, don't say those types of things, hey, those are racist comments, that no one would object to what was being said.
When my sister came along, she graduated number 3 from East High School. She was supposed to have been the valedictorian, but it hadn't been done. She had several teachers who were just they were outraged because you were the wrong color, because you lived in the wrong part of town. But she wouldn't fight it. She said she didn't want to make a speech anyway. So
It's cute, you know. But then after I started gaining weight, and then the issue of being the tallest, being the biggest, being black, it was always an issue.
Like a little girl like my sister gets picked on because her hair doesn't fall flat onto her body. And no one, not even the teacher, says anything about it. They all just laugh because it's a difference and it's strange.
I was a cheerleader. I was the first black cheerleader at McDowell School, for goodness sake. I was the first black cheerleader at Central for 3 years. I was the first black cheerleader at Columbus High School, North. I was the first black cheerleader. And because I had chosen to do things that were not seen as what black kids did at that time, I was an Oreo.
Maybe I would train someone to do a job, and predominantly the people that I trained were white. And whenever like a guest or a customer would ask a question, they would immediately go to that white person instead of me. Like I was an afterthought. Like I had to be the last person on earth in order for them to ask me a question.
And I know that when I was in those positions, there were people who had their, sights aimed on me because they didn't like me being there. And most of it was because I was black. Mm-hmm. That's their problem.
And I do think black women are oppressed. I think that's why I don't consider myself a feminist. Women issues and womanhood isn't my biggest battle. It's my blackness. And once my blackness no longer is a battle, then I can be a feminist. But right now, I'm a black activist.
Turn on your TV, when you flip through a magazine, when you read a book, most of them, it's filled with the European standards of beauty. It's hardly ever black beauty or even people of color in it. And when they are in it, it's a certain type. Most of the time, it's not the type that you are.
But then we have colorism within our own community. We discriminate against darker skinned people. We praise light skinned people. We've taken on what slave masters did 400, 500 years ago and have adapted it in our own culture and have made it a thing and have made it normal.
And I'm just not realizing how wrong that is, to deny who you are. When you denounce a black woman and you're a black man, it's like saying, I don't even like my mother, in my opinion. I know that I have a far journey because I'm just now starting to understand how beautiful black women are.
But our mother did that to us. She pushed us. You can be anything, anybody. You're just as smart. You're just as pretty. You're just as, you can do it all. And so I suppose that without her saying, you're beautiful, just those words, she poured into us